Well, as I have come by to say again, this is in fact my week off from work, so it's a good time for me to try to show you all a little video work here. And as far as what we just did on these Alpine Santas here, you've seen a few steps I've already taken, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the next. This video was recorded in the same day as the last one, and this is a moment when there's just so much more time on my hands, so much more I get to show and display to you all. As far as this little work comes along, there's a place where you kind of chip a little corner off the top, the front corner here, and it's a place where it's probably going to become the top of the hood and the top of the face, and try to get this little corner out here and show how it's going to move along, make our days get so much better. And I say with this next little step we take, we're going to come a long way. We're going to come a long way. I'm doing this very same step on this one as well, and there's also another little step you take. We're going to try to cut along the back here to make the back of the hood. Like you see, I just kind of carved out that little bit of work right there and kind of try to make it go the same with this little way too. And I'd say that the work is making its way to us, making its way through us, and as we know, it's going to come out fine, it's going to come out good. We see that there was just a little light to shine in our life, a little light to shine in our days, and bless the children of all things. We all know that there's one good God and one good Savior in Jesus Christ, and watching over us all the time. Sometimes I think with some pieces of wood, depending on how they come out, you might have to carve things out a little bit differently, go a different way about it, and see how it all comes down in the end. Makes it all seem like we see a little place where we come along, and that's how we do. You see, I've already kind of carved out the back of the hood here. We're going to do the same thing on this one as well. And the work is just a little ways for us. It makes the best out of all the things we do and all the things we have. I say that this kind of life we live, it's all for the good and all for the better, and I say that little life shall make its way through to us. Oh, the blessings in store for us when we see what we can do. I've learned a lot this week. I've learned a lot the past 2 weekends. I've been out at my shows. I've been doing a lot of work. I've been sharing a lot of season out there, and really going to show that the time we go about these things is the time we know what's best for us. And I'd say that this is how it goes. Got the back of the hood on this one too. We know that there are getting to be all kinds of chips here, so try to avoid having too much of that. We'll try to brush them off the furniture and brush them off the clothing as they come. Try to keep them from getting scattered around too much. And now we're going to try to take another little step or two into this. There's probably some other lines to be drawn, like here for the center of the hands. We're going to make a little place in the center where the sleeve cuffs are going to meet, and try to cut along on that and make it so it comes out about to the middle. We're going to do the same on this one as well. Try to show what it's going to look like when it comes in the end. You see, we've drawn the lines on here. This again is something which some people would do with a gouge, but I'm going to do it with a knife, and I'm going to use this little detail knife right here to do this, because it's a little bit smaller and can kind of get into those holes and cracks a little better. And that is how we're going to cut these lines out to make these little sleeve cuffs. And I tell you that when I was carving the one out of cedar, this was one of the hardest things to do, but still managed to do it. There were quite a few ruffles I had to leave out when I was carving the one out of cedar. It was just way too stringy to carve, like I was telling you about. And so we come along, I say that things got a little crooked here, so we'll have to even them up a little more. Try to make them a little better, and come along the way. We're all gonna do the little work here at a time, and try getting these little cuffs to go. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to take it a longer way, make it so that we're going to see things as according to how they ought to be. So we make this little line out and show how it's going to go, and this is how we have made it. There may have been a time or two when, like I was saying with the Buckeye Santas, when I burnt the little lines into their ruffles, there were mornings when I had to work that I thought about doing that before going to work, and then it would just kind of be like having so much going on there. It would be hard to do first thing, so you kind of had to rest and get ready for work. But I took care of that yesterday. You just saw those a while ago. Saw them with the first coat of finish on them, and so that's how it comes along with that. I say that we're kind of working along here, working along this. In fact, we're gonna make it out here, make it so these sleeve cuffs get about to where they need to be. We're going to try to do it out on the other one as well, show a little work and effort into these. And I always told you all about Calvin Grant in my videos, one of the people who taught me a few good things about how to carve, and how he always kind of mentioned the fact that he had several knives with him, and he shifted around and used different knives while carving a project. And sometimes I'd say for me, that's kind of the way I go about my work and about my projects, using different knives to do the trick. Try to keep several sharpened up at once, and when one dulls off, go and use another. So this is how we're getting along with the sleeve cuffs here. And sometimes the lines, they need to be cut like they are little V's. There's going to come a time when I'm going to get better at this, be able to make better videos for you all. So it's all going to be a little easier said than done in the future, so try to work a little ways with it. I think these might have come out just a little bit crooked too, but not as badly crooked as they did the last time around, so try to get along with the work here. Make these so they turn out the way they are supposed to be, and see how this little project is gonna work its way through to us, make us all the people we need to be, people we want to be. And oh, I say that it's going to be a long ways of work, and sometimes things don't turn out perfect, but sometimes they just have to turn out your best. I will say there's probably a step or two we're going to take along here. We're not going to be ready to cut this line just yet, but there's a certain line we're going to draw along here. It's the little line here that makes the ruffle of the hood. You start at about the top of the hands and go up to where the end of the triangle is. So as we work along on this, we're going to make it all our ways, make it so it makes little good work out of us and shows us all that we are precious in God's sight, you know. All the stories I've heard, all the stories I've told, all the things that kind of go along the way, and I say that there's a little lines we're going to draw. Just drew the other one for the hood here. I think I'm going to go ahead and draw little lines to try to make the shoulders. Did that here just now. Am starting to kind of think that there's probably going to be a thing or two we're going to change here. Probably drew this line a little too soon, but there's a little work to come along. We're going to get to it, and I say that there's probably going to be a few more things to come before we get too much further. There's a little place where we draw a line just to make the bottom ruffle of the coat, and we're gonna draw that right now, take care of what we got here, do what we need to do, make it just as good as it needs to be, and say that, oh, the lines we make, the lines we draw come out to be like this little ruffle down here. We're going to draw one more, make the line along here as well, make it so it fits the Santa just right, and this is how we come along to it. Make it so it has its little ways about us, make it so it works its ways through us, and there's just going to be a little last line I'm going to draw on the back to kind of make the back of the ruffle. So here is how the lines have already come out now, and am thinking just to kind of shorten my steps a little bit and shorten my videos a little bit, Might be time to turn this one off and give it a break and give it an upload and be back to share the next step as soon as I can. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.